Wow. What a morning.
Yeah.
It's one of those days.
It's one of those days. This is what happens every single day
Yeah.
on the show. It's like
It's like you're about to get set for a race.
yeah, it's like getting set for a race.
On your marks.
Once it's 6 a.m., it's fire on the mountain, if you know what I mean. Run.
We have an amazing show planned. Now, it's what we like to do and why we wake up so early to be here, just so that you can turn on your TV and see us.
Yeah.
Now, you have to tune to TVC and be part of this experience, and we believe really strongly that great TV content should be available to you at every time of the day.
Yeah, so top of the morning to you, and thank you for joining us once again, and happy New Democracy Day.
I like that. I like the new.
Yeah.
The nouveau you put
happy
in
New
front
Democracy Day. It's good. You're dressed in green.
Yeah, well,
all
so are
shiny.
you, so are
Very
you.
nice.
Thank you.
That's good. Anyway, my name is Yomi Ope.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinso. Now we're live streaming right now on tvcontinental.tv and on Facebook Live at TVC Connect. Please send in those comments on social media with #WakeUpNigeria.
Now, you can also download our mobile app from any Android or iOS store to watch us on your mobile device from anywhere in the world.
Yes,
now,
indeed.
give us ratings. Let's know what you think of this app.
It's actually really, really cool. I checked it out just yesterday. There's a whole online community. You should join them, start chatting, saying hi to us, and we'll say hi right back.
Yeah.
We have Ajishebutu, blessing, okay? I think I got that right.
Ajishebutu.
Ajishebutu blessing,
Yeah, exactly.
aka Butu Naira, a Nigerian singer and songwriter. She'll be giving us a musical performance very soon. And
Of course, on relationship, Lape Soetan will be talking about the person you want to be with.
Yes, so that person you want
That's-
to be with.
Being that person that you want to be with. So if you want to be with someone, how about being that person first?
Yes, sir.
And then,
Right after that, we'll bring you a performance from Team Definition. Now, they're an 8-man ensemble of individual professional artists and performers who are coming together this Democracy Day to give us a really interesting performance.
And on wellness, Dr. Patrick Ijere will be joining us on the topic of wellness and the environment. What role does the environment play when it has to do with wellness? And I will be having that conversation with him on the show.
Yes, indeed. Now, also come this morning, we have a live drama for you, courtesy of the Live Theatre Lagos. Now, they're bringing you excerpts from Wole Soyinka's Death and the King's Horseman.
Consultant obstetrician and gynecologist, Dr. Abiodun Fashina, will be joining us on the health segment to talk about diabetes in pregnancy. Now, this is really important topic, and the signs to look out for, and of course, how to deal with it.
And for the last performance for the day, and of course a chat, we'll be having Kaline, singer, songwriter, and pianist. Okay, feels like it's going to be a great show.
Yeah, looking forward to what we have today. It's a public holiday, so lots of people at home.
Yeah.
And so this is officially our New Democracy
Day. Yes.
So that's June 12, no longer May 29.
But what exactly does this mean? What is the significance of it? Like from your perspective?
From my perspective, I think now we are beginning to recognize that democracy is the most important thing, and everybody having the right to vote, the right to express themselves in this country. So things are changing a bit slowly, but at least we're getting there eventually. And we're also making amends for the wrongs of the past.
Okay.
June 12, 1993 was a big deal. And so things are changing, and looking forward to things getting better.
June 12 for me, I can't remember. I dare say I don't even remember anything. I was a toddler at that time. But all the same, I'm just glad that we recognize democracy. And talking about democracy, yesterday there were open polls on the floor of the House, and we have a new Senate President, a new Deputy Senate President, as well as a Speaker of the House of Representatives. So that's also another big deal.
Quite significant.
Very significant, yes.
The international media were actually watching, everyone was watching from home on TVC. We went live there on TVC News. It was really interesting to see how many people wanted to know what was happening. So from years past, the elections past, from where I've been, not many people were very interested. They were just like, okay, president, we have the VP, and we have our governor. But people were actually really interested to see who was going to
I think the kind of people
slots.
that weren't interested before were young folks. If you observed, older folks tend to want to know these things, what's happening. But what's new is actually young people being interested in governance, being interested in what is actually happening in the political sphere. And that's actually positive, very positive. I'm pleased about that.
Nice, very nice.
So we're wishing them all the best. And for everyone that's...
Yes, we could do with plenty.
And finally,
of
we
that.
can get the president to sign them as well.
Okay.
Anyway, let's go to the news now.
I'm sure there's more there.
Theophilus for us.
Good morning and welcome to the news. Nigerians are celebrating Democracy Day for the first time on June the 12th. On this day, 26 years ago, Nigerians went to the polls, putting religious and ethnic differences aside to vote for their preferred candidate in what has been adjudged Nigeria's freest and fairest election. Correspondent Tijesu Adioye has more.
This is a clear picture of what will transpire at the Eagle Square for the very first celebration of June 12 as Democracy Day. Since President Buhari made the official announcement in 2018, many Nigerians have been looking forward to celebrating June 12. For many people, this day depicts the struggle to establish Nigeria's democracy and the pains and losses recorded along the way. They are happy that their calls to formally recognize it as Nigeria's True Democracy Day has now yielded fruits. Some Nigerians express their expectation of how the day should go.
I'm expecting improvement to the political system. There should be new innovations that will bring development to the country. It's not ordinary day that we should be marking.
We expect the celebration to be a better celebration than people are suffering. But we expect that this second coming is going to be a nice coming, that everybody is going to benefit and enjoy.
As part of activities leading up to the June 12 celebration, a historical photo and art exhibition was unveiled in Abuja. This exhibition is aimed at deepening the understanding of Nigerians, especially youths, on the country's political history and democratic experience as a nation.
The exhibition, with the theme Unbroken Democracy, takes us back memory lane on our political struggles and eventual freedom from the British colonial masters. This, I believe, will reawaken the consciousness of the citizens and especially educate our young ones about the founding fathers of our great nation.
Tijesu Adioye, TVC News.
National leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, says May 29 does not carry the weight of significance that June the 12th carries in the country's democratic journey. The APC national leader said this in a statement titled "The Truth that Sets Democracy Free in Our Land." According to him, what the country had been commemorating on May the 29th of every year since the democratic restoration of 1999 has been the day of the handover of power from the military regime to the elected civilian administration. He urged Nigerians not to take the democracy we enjoy today for granted or do anything to threaten its existence, because it was not won on a peaceful and comfortable platter of gold. Bola Tinubu thanked the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari for recognizing June the 12th for what it really is and immortalizing MKO Abiola. Now it's 25 years today since the pronouncement made by late Basharu Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola as President-elect of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. At the 9th National Discourse in commemoration of the day, organizers eulogized the life of the late philanthropist, calling on the Buhari administration to further immortalize him. Abosede Omori tells us more.
A semblance of late Chief Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola, with no inscription to tell the story of the June 11, 1994 declaration. This is a bust in Ekwetedo area of Lagos Island, a reminder for the younger generation of the historic event that followed the annulment of the 1993 election. Here in Ekwetedo, pro-democracy activists are gathered to mark the silver jubilee of Abiola's self-declaration as president-elect.
The election has been counted. They refused to announce the winner. The winner of that election announced himself and declared himself the winner of that election. That is a struggle.
And I so much love Abiola. He laid his life down for the masses. He laid his life down for the democracy. If it should have been another person, when he was told to renounce his presidency for freedom, such a person should have done so. But Abiola, being a man that he was, decided not to toe the line of these people.
Comrades Abiodun Mustafa and Akinola Rishagbemi are survivors of the June 12 struggle. While Mustafa lost a leg, it took Orishagbemi 16 surgical operations to successfully remove the bullets lodged in his body by the military junta. He talks to us about his expectations from the present administration.
So why you have recognized? So who is also to be recognized too? And this time around, what I'm asking for the federal government, the federal and the state government, I should be given an appointment because I suffer a lot. Because we are the one that brought democracy in Nigeria. All this while I joined today, minister, the president, senator, where are they doing the June 12?
High point of the event was a presentation of award of Jagumolu Tile Odua to the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
June 12 is now Democracy Day. So this all today, we are declaring it as Nigeria Democracy Center, which is going to be a tourist center to be recognized nationally and internationally.
25 years after the Ekwetedo Declaration, pro-democracy activists who are part of the June 12 struggle and many others say that more has to be done to sustain the legacies of the late Chief Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola, who many regard as a martyr of democracy in Nigeria. Abosede Omowuyi, TVC News, Ekwetedo, Lagos.
That's it on the news update for this hour. Weather update is up next.
Now we're looking at these papers on June 12th, Democracy Day.
And the headline on June 12 on The Guardian is How Lawan Gbajabiamila emerged National Assembly leaders. Presidency Lord's New Dawn, end to betrayal, it says in quotes. It says lawmakers should avoid third-term deals for Buhari. It also says here, Nigeria, others lose $1 trillion yearly to untidy firms' ownership. President asks Election Tribunal to strike out Atiku PDP petition. JAMB approves cutoff marks for 2019-2020 admission. Ondo monarch escapes abduction. Then on Democracy Day, eminent citizens ask Buhari on better Nigeria. Soyinka, Agbakoba, Okpadokun, Odumakin, others seek electoral reforms and good governance. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
All right, let's check out The Punch with the headline, Buhari, APC, PDP react as Lawan Gbajabiamila emerge National Assembly leaders. Senators will be my bosses, Senate President Lawan says. And Speaker promises reforms, says reps will shake the table. And then June 12, Democracy Day. It is bad for anybody to brand June 12 struggle Yoruba project, says Soyinka. And Afe Babalola wants president, governors inaugurated on Democracy Day. And Tribunal hears Atiku's motion to access INEC's server on Thursday. And Nigeria will continue to experience sluggish recovery, says from the Fitch ratings there. And Nigeria moving towards disaster under Buhari, says Obasanjo. And down here, we've got Nersal secures fresh 4.5 billion naira from 3 banks for farmers. And protests over 5-month detention of students who criticized Madonna University. Wow, 5 months. And then sell Ajaokuta steel firm, Manufacturing Association of Nigeria. Others tell federal government. That's what we have on the cover of The Punch.
We also have the Daily Sun newspaper here, and it says Ninth National Assembly, Lawan Gbaja lead Senate House of Reps. Omo Agege Wase emerge deputies. There's an exclusive on pages 25 to 30 here on Kola Abiola's untold story of June 12th. Abiola, victim of complex conspiracy, it says. It also says here, corruption will be more ruthless, vows Buhari, goes after safe havens for loot. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Sun.
Let's check out Nigerian Tribune here. Ninth National Assembly. Forces that pulled victory for Lawan Gbajabiamila. How PDP senators ditched Ndume Ekweremadu. And Goje, PDP governors save Lawan. And New Dawn replaces duplicity, perfidy, says Buhari. It's triumph over impunity, says APC. And PDP, Saraki, others congratulate National Assembly leaders. And a Union Bank shareholders okay 54.4 billion naira share premium reduction. And houses burnt as miners' youths clash in Oshun community. Now up here, Soyinka, Afe Babalola, Tinubu, others write on June 12. And Buhari's government drawing Nigeria towards disaster, instability, says Obasanjo on page 30. And dismiss Atiku's petition, Buhari, APC, INEC, tell Tribunal. That's what we have on the cover of the Tribune.
We also have the Vanguard this June 12th. It says, Ninth National Assembly leadership, how Lawan Gbaja, others emerged winners. Lawan floors Ndume in the Senate. Gbaja defeats Bago to emerge speaker. Omo Agege beats Ekweremadu with 68 votes to emerge deputy president. Senate adjourns till tomorrow. Buhari congratulates Lawan Gbaja, others. It's always a packed cover on the Vanguard. It says here, Buhari's second term, Fitch sees weak economic outlook. Buhari's government driving Nigeria towards disaster instability, according to Obasanjo here. It also says here, on June 12, a nation's date with democracy, or rather democratic rule. Let's focus on the lessons, according to Doyin Abiola here. A Democracy Day primer by Wole Soyinka. And this is basically all we have time for on the covers of the papers this morning. That's the Vanguard for you.
Yeah, all right. So we're going to take a break and be back with the traffic situation. It's going to be light. We know it.
Good morning and happy holiday. It's time for Lagos traffic updates on Wake Up Nigeria. Now, please note that you can always be a part of this segment by sending a message on Instagram, Facebook, or even Twitter to let us know what your traffic situation is and perhaps take a traffic selfie. That would be super cute. And talking about traffic, I know sometimes you wonder why give Lagos traffic updates on a public holiday. You'll be amazed. The first traffic laden zone I'm seeing this morning is a little unsurprising, though I would have expected it to be, a lot easier this morning. But hey, The third mainland bridge, there's traffic on it this morning. Like, that's shocking. If you're coming from Oworonshoki towards the third mainland bridge, anticipate traffic, especially at that point around where you can look to the University of Lagos. So that's where the traffic actually starts. And it goes on till you're almost off the bridge. So prepare your mind for plenty of traffic today. But then afterwards, it's free sailing till you get to Obalinde, though of course when you're approaching Obalinde there's a bit of traffic, but it's not so bad. At least it's not as bad as what you will encounter the bumper to fender traffic on Third Mainland Bridge this morning. It's astonishing, I must say. Okay, so moving away from there, if you're going to, okay, before I give you this next one, let me see if Yomi has any tweets for me. Traffic-wise?
Well, nothing much. I think, I guess one or two people wondering why there's
traffic on Third Mainland.
Yeah.
If you have any information or you can share any information with us, please use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria so that we can, share this information with people. It seems something must have happened around the Ebute Meta turnoff, because there is, for some reason, on a public holiday, bumper to fender traffic on the bridge. But it's not going to take you long to get to the island if you're on the mainland coming from Ojota.
Yeah.
It'll take about 40 minutes, but for some reason it is on lockdown on the bridge this morning.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So if you happen to be around Yaba right now and you're trying to decide whether to just make that intersection to the Third Mainland Bridge, lucky for you, we're here, because if you're passing through the Ojuelegba axis, it's free sailing as expected because it's a public holiday, for goodness sake. So you won't encounter any traffic. I'm not even talking about maybe a bit of traffic here, but no, it's smooth sailing, so much so that you will spend less than 20 minutes. I'm just being conservative. You spend about 15 minutes, but let's say less than 20 minutes to get to the island from Ojuelegba, and that's fantastic this morning. I wonder how long it took you to get here this morning, Titi?
Well, usually the route is quite free as at the time I'm on the road. There's never any traffic at all. Every junction is free, every U-turn, every corner, every corridor. But what I can say is that, sometimes things happen on the road that you need updates about.
Exactly.
So thankfully I didn't see anything of note for anyone out there this morning on the roads, Mary.
And talking about things worthy of note, looks like some areas never change, as they say, because if you're coming from Iyano Ipaja, it's not like last week. Today, there is traffic. If you're heading to Oshodi from Iyano Ipaja, the traffic isn't so bad. Note, so don't panic. The traffic isn't so bad. It's just a bit of, pockets of traffic here, light traffic really. Might be buses stopping to pick up passengers and, stuff like that. So don't panic. There isn't much traffic. Of course, when you're approaching Ikeja along, the usual, but it's very light, really. It's very, very light. So no need for you to panic. If you're coming from Iyano Ipaja and you're heading to Oshodi, you will still spend less than 30 minutes. As at last week, this time last week it was 20 minutes. But of course, that's if you really, really press down the accelerator. So I expect that you will drive safely and arrive at your destination in one piece. Yomi, what was it like getting here from the island this morning?
It was smooth sailing for me. It was, really early in the morning, 5 a.m. So everywhere was free. All the major roundabouts along the Lekki Express was I did like 2 minutes each at along the express, so it was fine. It took me about 10 minutes to get to phase 1, and then from phase 1 to, of course, to work, another 25 minutes. So yeah.
All right, plain sailing. So if maybe you're heading to the airport or something, you have a flight to catch, or you're heading somewhere important to prepare for the day's activities, not to worry, most routes are free except the Third Mainland Bridge.
Yeah, and I'm sure whatever's happening on the Third Mainland Bridge is probably temporary, and I'm sure that'll be cleared up. I don't know if you mentioned that, of course, the Apapa axis is a bit busy, as usual, because of the trucks. Just a bit busy. Not as bad as your regular days, but yeah.
Yeah, and Iyanoba to Oshodi is another traffic area. It's not so bad this morning, but you should prepare to spend at least an hour to get to Oshodi from Iyanoba. And that's quite a lot for a public holiday. Anyway, I have to join the guys. Guys, I have a gist for you. Something happened this morning that almost took my breath away, literally. So I'm going to join you guys right now.
Okay. Now, there's just, there are quite a few things that are trending online. obviously Democracy Day is trending. Which is a good thing in most cases.
It's good because usually on days like this, people have a chance to reflect and think about, where we are as a country, what are we doing, and especially young people, because a lot of young people, the truth is, they could get scared or they're thinking about, okay, what kind of country am I living in and all of that. So
that question is very common on social media these days.
Yeah, so it's a good day to just think about stuff and reflect and think about governance, business, whatever it is, So and also rest. It's
and
a good
rest.
day to rest.
Yes, it's very important. And yes, I was telling you guys I have some gist for you.
Yeah.
So this morning we're coming to work and all, and then at Ikeja along under that bridge. Somebody was using his phone. Imagine using your phone at, few minutes to 5 a.m. in the dark. And he was walking slowly to cross under a bridge, like a footbridge. And he was walking slowly. And then, it was pitch black. So he came in to the road suddenly. And the driver had to really press the brakes. Like, this is how closely. He missed him.
Wow.
The guy now ran, it was like, you could tell he was in shock. And then I noticed also he had an earpiece.
Oh,
and
wow.
it frightened the heck out of me. I wasn't even sitting in front, but I was just imagining, because Mark had his eyes in front, like, what just happened? For like 5 minutes after. It was that scary. Like, 3 things. 1, you're using your phone. 2, you have your ears plugged in. And 3,
you're crossing the road.
You're jaywalking at that time of the day. It could have been hit, as in it was that bad. People were screaming.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, how can you be crossing the street with headphones on and your eyes?
I see people do it a lot during the day, and it freaks me out. It scares me because most of these earpieces are noise cancellation earpieces.
So you don't hear anything.
You can't hear anything around you. It freaks me out when I see someone even driving with both earphones on. There's these earpieces that have the microphone on one side and then doesn't have anything on the other. Most of the time, you see people with one ear in so that they can hear horns or
and see what's happening around them.
Exactly.
And all that. It's crazy. I mean, technology, while it's good, is also pretty risky, especially for a lot of young people. So they say, let's not even talk about crossing the street. Let's even talk about just walking on the road and having your eyes on your phone. That's also pretty dangerous. You can fall into a manhole or into a gutter.
Goodness me.
And things like that. And we've seen videos online as well. The lady that fell into a fountain while she was texting.
Very horrible.
And even though people pulled her out, some other people were taking pictures and laughing at her. Then she started crying. So, she fell into a fountain. So, I mean,
I've witnessed one at Ikeja along. This was a young man. He was having his earpiece on and he was feeling himself at that moment with his phone. And the train had started moving.
Oh my
And
goodness.
the train kept honing. And this guy was walking casually. This is something I witnessed personally. And somebody had to just pull him. As they pulled him, the train went past him. This guy knelt down on the floor in shock, like, I almost died.
Oh,
but I was like,
There's
God,
some
you
people?
could have died. Because people kept screaming, cross, 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 but
I
you
think
didn't
people
hear.
generally just need to be careful. They also need to be careful
but then what does it say about, okay, I don't want to fault anyone for their should I say upbringing or, things.
It's
so
not upbringing. It's
no.
It has nothing
I'm
to do
saying,
with
okay,
upbringing.
upbringing in terms of access they've had to road signs, safety signals, safety drills, fire drills. I remember mentioning it, I think about a year ago, that I was in the cinema and the fire alarm went off.
And nobody moved.
You said?
Nobody moved. I'll be the first out of there.
I moved. I got up. And I guess because the movie was about 3,500 naira.
Yeah.
People were weighing, I've paid 3,500. How will I get up? The movie is still on. And I'm like, the fire alarm is ringing. There was even a red light spinning in the hall. And I'm like, you guys are sitting down. So I mentioned before I grew up in the UK. You get up, drop everything, and start walking to the nearest exit. That's what you're supposed to do. Nobody moved. They were
And
like,
one of the
they do this around this time every day. They do. I'm like, so okay.
So they felt like it was a fire drill and not a real.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I just
It could have been
something.
fire.
Yeah.
It could have been, God forbid, a shooter in the mall. It could have been someone just asking
It
for
could be
help.
anything.
It could be someone
been,
trapped
yeah.
somewhere.
It could have been
And then,
anything,
so the worst part for me was I went up to the security person and I was like, Oga, how far? Is everything okay? He was like, it's okay, but people are not going now. We want them to go out, but people are not going. I said, but sir, so what do we do? He was like, we'll watch them, Noni. That's what he said.
He wasn't going to bring them out.
No.
Okay, so
Once an alarm goes off, even the security guy is not responsible for bundling people out.
No, I didn't say bundle people out.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just like, at
He's
least.
not even supposed to come in and say everybody out.
Okay.
Once the alarm goes off,
you should know you.
the alarm should also go off in your head.
Yeah, like,
You know
Because
this
if there's-
alarm
if
thing,
there's
the
an actual
drill
risk to
thing.
life,
Okay, you were saying.
I was saying that if there's an actual risk or there's an actual emergency going on, everybody needs to start moving towards the exit. That's what you're supposed
You
to
know
do.
this drill you're
How
saying,
you know?
just on a lighter note, though, of course, anything that has to do with emergencies isn't funny. So there was a time we're doing a lot of fire drills right here. And one day the alarm went off and we're in the makeup room early in the morning. And everybody was like running out and I was like, no way, I'm grabbing my bag. They're like, leave your bag, it could be. I said, oh, I have too many things in this bag. So I was like the last person to come out of the
Please,
beauty.
if you're watching and hearing this for the first time,
Anywhere you
hear
hear
an
fire
alert,
alarm.
get up and move to the exit. Move
Please,
to the
please.
point where everybody is supposed to gather in your compound. In your
Please, it's
office.
for your safety, please.
We have to take a short break, but we'll be back.
Stay with us.
All right, now it's Democracy Day, and you know we've got great music for you. Ajise Butu Oluwaseun Blessing, aka Butu Naira, is a singer, songwriter, and actress. Now she is here with us for some good music this Wednesday morning. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Good to see you. So let's start with the name, Butu Naira.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that name from?
My dad.
Your dad, okay. He gave you that name, or?
I know.
Okay.
It was called like an alias. It was called Butu Naira. So I just felt, okay, let me use
Okay,
that.
use that. Okay, very nice, very nice. So, your kind of music is, of course, it's a different kind of music. It's not what you hear regularly on your radio. All the jumpy songs. So
Exactly.
just tell us about the kind of music. That you
It's a country song. I just felt, let me go into a special
country.
line. Yeah,
Wow.
it's a
Okay,
country
so
music.
is that an influence from your dad as well? I suspect that's it.
No.
Okay. No.
Partially.
Partially from your dad.
Yeah.
So, who would you say your country influences are?
It starts from Adele.
Okay, okay.
Fiancé. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Those are
Not too bad because they have a few country songs as well. I thought you were going to do some throwbacks into Jim Reeves and what's that other fellow's name? Anyway, music is a really important thing, and of course you've talked about a little bit of your influence now, but your music itself, how do you put everything together? What's the focus of everything that you do when you get into the studio?
It's the motivation that I have to do this. I have to speak to the nation. I have to tell them this is what is happening to us, because we tend to let go of our past. Whereas the past, we have to remember the past in order to remember the present.
I like that.
Yeah.
You know, so thinking about the past and using that to interpret what is happening to us now. So you know, the history, giving people a sense of history.
Past history.
I like that. I like that. Now, also, you're an actress.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Very interesting. So, talk to us about that.
I've not actually gone into that yet for now, but I'm intending to go on that.
Into that. And it's a space that you're looking at as well. Anyway, so today you're going to be doing something for us. So tell us about today's song for this one.
It's just my first single, anyways.
Okay, first single.
Yeah. So it's about Nigeria coming together as one. Uniting Nigeria.
Uniting Nigeria.
Yeah.
And that's a good song for June 12.
Yeah.
That's a very good song. Now, you know, this being your first single, the people that have heard it, you know, how have they responded to it, and what's it like?
Yeah, a lot of response. 1.5 views. Yeah.
1.5 million views. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
For general view.
Butu Naira. So some Nairas will start coming in very soon.
And some pounds.
And some pounds as well. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Anyway, are you ready for us to do this song?
Yeah, of course.
All right, I'm sure we are waiting for it, and we're ready for you this morning. Butu
Thank
Naira,
you.
ladies and gentlemen.
When mind is set with a feeling.
Amazing, amazing. Wow, wow. Don't worry, you're still waking, well, you're still watching Wake Up Nigeria, and if you're just waking up, you haven't lost us. We're still in the first hour, because seeing the chef will definitely surprise you. I have a new chef for you this morning. His name is Chef Yabez, and for his debut, he will be making cauliflower rice. Cauliflower rice.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't see any rice here.
Yeah. Actually, we always use rice to make fried rice, but today we are going to use cauliflower to make the rice.
Okay, okay. So we're doing cauliflower as a replacement for rice. This is like a Fit Farm kind of health food,
Diet,
right?
yes,
Oh, fantastic. Let's talk about the ingredients. Let's begin from this.
We have our garlic here.
That's a lot of garlic.
Red bell pepper.
Okay.
Onions.
Okay.
Lemon.
Okay.
Basil.
Okay.
We have our carrot here.
Okay.
Green beans.
Okay.
Our prawns.
Okay. And then what kind of seasoning are these?
We have our mixed season.
Okay.
Then we have our white pepper. This is our olive oil.
Okay.
Then coconut oil.
Coconut oil.
Yes.
Okay. And of course our cauliflower.
Our cauliflower.
Okay. So what's the process like? What's the first thing we're doing?
First of all, we need to...
This is very exciting, isn't it?
We need to grate our
Cauliflower.
Okay.
From the way you sound, you have French origins?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I can tell that accent from a mile off. Oh, nice. Is this your recipe, or is probably an original recipe that you've infused to your own style?
No, it's the recipe that several times people want to make do their diet.
Okay,
they
so this is okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great, fantastic. So this is supposed to serve how many people?
Like two people.
Two people.
Two people.
Just as little as this looks?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow. Is it two people on a diet or two people who are not on a diet?
Two people on the diet.
Okay, so I can imagine what it would look like then. That would be a lot of seven spoons and all. Okay. So this is just what we need.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh-uh.
After
So
this
what
one.
do we do with the rest of this? We just take it off.
Take
Now,
it off.
if I was to make use of the entire bulb of cauliflower, how many people would it serve then?
Okay, like 5 people.
5 people.
Yeah, because they no need to eat too much food.
When you're on a diet.
When you're on
Okay,
a
so
diet.
those of us here, we are not on a diet. Could you just make for the 5 people? Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right then. So carrots going. What's the process of making the entire meal?
Okay, after our cauliflower,
Yeah.
I'm going to cut my carrot.
Okay.
That's the carrot. That's the
runny beans,
green
okay.
beans, red bell pepper,
Okay,
onions.
okay.
Like the way we are always doing the fried rice.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's still like the fried rice
Fried
process.
rice,
The only
just that
replacement
you
is
replace
this. Now, this, are we making use of the juice or the zest?
No, I'm going to use the
juice itself.
to season my prawns.
For the prawns,
Yes,
okay,
yeah.
okay. So, what's the first thing we are doing? Putting oil in the pan.
Yes. We are going
Don't
to-
worry, just keep cutting and you run me
Okay.
through the process. So you put some oil in the...
You put some oil in the pan.
Yeah.
After that, you add your onions.
Okay.
From the onions, you add
I'm
your...
expecting you to just break into French right now and start talking about wayon and dui. So we put on the onions in the hot oil.
Yes. Then you add your... After the oil, you add your onions.
Okay.
Then you season your prawns.
Okay.
You add your prawns.
Also, we fried is
You
it
are
going to be like a stir fry or
you are going to do,
proper fry?
Yeah, you are going to saute the prawns.
Saute it. Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic.
After that, you add our carrot.
Okay.
From carrot, you add the cauliflower.
Okay.
From cauliflower, green beans.
No water in all of this?
No, nothing like
Oh,
water.
okay.
Nothing like water.
Then we add the green beans.
Green beans,
Okay.
red bell pepper.
Uh-huh.
Then we season our
dish.
food, our dish with pepper.
Okay.
Pepper and salt.
Okay,
That's
okay. And that's it?
That's it.
So the prawns starts and finish the meal?
Yes,
We are
ma'am.
not taking it out when we start to
No,
sauteing?
no, everything. We are mixing everything together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This looks like a one-pot dish that might be very exciting, especially for those who are trying to lose weight or at least keep fit. I know I'm going to need some of these in my diet very soon. Well, in a bit, we'll start the second hour of the show. But first, we'll take this short break. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us as Wake Up Nigeria.
Yeah, we hope you had a good night. If you're a worker, you probably did because you're still in bed and just changing the channels. And
Yeah.
now that you're on TVC, just stay with us because you're going to be having even a nicer morning today.
Of course you are, especially since we're here with you. Now, if you haven't had a great night, don't worry. That's the more reason for you to be right there with Wake Up Nigeria. We're going to be here all the way till around 8:45 a.m. So at 7 o'clock, it means we have an hour, 45 minutes to go. We have this lineup for you that's bound to make you smile. My name is Titilayo Oyinsan.
And I'm Yomi Ope. We are streaming live right now. So you can check us out at TVC Connect. That's on Facebook. And of course on our website as well at tvcontinental.tv. Send in your comments on our social media platforms, Facebook as well, Twitter and on Instagram.
Our hashtag is very important to us and to you by now, hopefully. Wake Up Nigeria. Our app is available for download for Android and iOS stores. This app allows you to watch us from anywhere in the world on all your mobile devices. Just make sure it's right there.
Yeah, Mary and Chef Yabez have been busy this morning.
Yes,
I finally get to practice my French.
Cauliflower rice.
Yes,
Wow.
that's what we're having this morning. Cauliflower rice.
A little bit of
Except
fifth
there's
and
no rice. We're replacing it with cauliflower.
You know, it's so interesting when a chef comes up with, you know, different recipes. It helps to feel where their mind was going with those meals.
Oh, yeah.
And when I see colorful food as well, it just makes my mouth water.
And healthy alternatives is everything now.
Yeah.
You know, oh, look at that color.
Yeah. Color everywhere.
And the chef is just flexing for us this morning.
Yes,
He's really showing us that he's got skills.
Going.
Can't wait,
You know, all the gloves, everything. He's, you know, he's checking all the boxes. Very nice. Very nice.
We have a lineup that starts like this. UK certified relationship coach Lape Soetan will be here talking about being the person you want to be with. That's a very important thing, you know. You can't expect so much of someone without making some moves to make yourself that person.
Yeah, well, you saw a performance from Butunara earlier, and now we're going to be bringing you another one from Team Definition.
Team Definition on this Democracy Day, yes. And on the series we started last week with Dr. Patrick Ijewere, he'll be moving on to talk about wellness and the environment. What role does the environment play when it comes to wellness? We'll be having that conversation with him later on.
Also to come this morning, we have a live drama for you, courtesy of the Live Theatre Lagos. And they're going to be bringing excerpts from Wole Soyinka's Death and the King's Horseman this Democracy Day.
We have coming up also consultant obstetrician and gynecologist, Dr. Abiodun Fashino. He'll be joining us on health segment today, talking about diabetes in pregnancy, the signs to look out for, and of course, the treatments.
For the last performance for the day, we have, and a chat, of course, we have Colleen. She is a singer, songwriter, and pianist.
She has lovely hair. Kaline has lovely hair. I love the hair.
Oh, it's Kaline.
Kaline.
I just call her Colleen.
Kaline.
Just like I called Palmieri.
Palmieri.
Which is actually a name.
Yeah,
it's
of course, of course.
Okay, so earlier you mentioned wellness, right? Last week while I was speaking with the doctor, he was talking about the fact that wellness are in 3 parts. But the one that struck me was the second one, the fact that your mind, body, soul, and spirit have to be well for you to actually call yourself well. And incidentally, the book I'm reading now has to do with a psychologist who actually helps patients. Like they're about to have a surgery or they're on admission and they need somebody to calm their nerves. I realized that we don't really practice that here. The doctors are the ones or the nurses, and usually while the process is ongoing, they're telling you, calm down, calm down. Meanwhile, there ought to be someone employed, a psychologist ought to be doing that job, calming a patient down before a surgery or before getting certain treatments.
It's actually something that happens. So abroad, a friend of a friend was supposed to go for, to remove a lump. And of course, you've paid all the bills. Of course, in the US, the bills are very heavy. But there's a reason why they're that heavy, because before you go through that process, they will make sure there's someone with you, guiding you through it, explaining everything that's going to happen, what to expect, asking if you have family members around you. If you don't have anyone, they will bring some around you and make sure that you're completely comfortable. Even women, when they go to give birth, in many cases, they have someone just guiding them through the process. There's always that extra person, extra hands, extra help, extra assistance.
And
but
what we don't
here,
what we don't realize is doctors are overwhelmed all over the world. Of course, we think it's a Nigerian thing. It's not. But what helps are the extra experts.
Hands,
yes, this person's
voices,
expertise is here. That person's expertise is here. But here we have doctors doing almost everything, nurses doing almost everything, and then like pharmacists, for example, are almost left redundant. A pharmacist's job is to actually give you the correct medicines. The doctor is only supposed to recommend, but we don't practice that here. We have so many doctors who take the jobs of pharmacists themselves. And so that's part of the problem we have with our healthcare system, things that really need to be looked into. We are back in the kitchen, and of course I'm welcoming you back. We have cauliflower rice cooking this morning, courtesy of Chef Yabez. Take a look at that. Okay, so Chef Yabez, you're going to tell us the process until this point. What have we done so far?
Okay, as you can see, after I add my oil to the pan,
okay,
I add my onions, garlic. From garlic, I add my prawns.
Okay.
After the prawns, I add the carrots. Then I will let it down slowly.
Okay.
Then from there, I add my cauliflower.
Okay. Okay.
Right
so
now, we are going to add our green beans.
is the cauliflower cooked yet?
Yes.
Okay, so we're adding the green beans.
We're
So we
adding
allow the cauliflower cook for how many minutes?
Cauliflower like 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Just 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a very simple process, very fast as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh wow. So now that we've added the beans, it will cook for how long?
The beans 2 minutes.
2 minutes as well.
Because all the veg, you don't need to cook too much the veg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the vegetables have to be
be
crunchy
fresh,
and
yeah.
at least fresh.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So this morning, in case you're just tuning in, we are making cauliflower rice, courtesy Chef Yabez. Okay. So that's what we're making this morning. And as you can see, it looks really delicious. It's for folks trying to keep fit, you know, trying to ensure you eat a very good meal. You're trying to be on a diet, so to speak. And the ingredients are quite minimal. Run us through the ingredients again, Chef Yabez. What are the things we made use of?
We have onions,
Okay.
garlic, prawns,
Okay.
cauliflower, carrots, green beans. Then right now, we are about
We have pepper.
pepper.
And then we made use of seasoning, mixed seasoning, right?
Yeah, I use my
And white pepper.
And white pepper.
Okay. Thank you. So I'll just take this. So the meal is just about ready even.
It's almost ready.
Oh wow. And it looks so good. Just look at the colors. Yummy, isn't it? Oh wow. So if I wanted to replace prawns with something else, what could I use? You know, this is Nigeria. And we know quite well that not just in Nigeria, all over the world, seafood is very expensive. So if I don't want to make use of prawns and I still want to keep fit, what would you recommend I make use of?
You can use chicken breast.
Chicken breast,
Yeah,
okay.
it's very good. Or you can use fish.
Fish.
Yeah.
So we could replace this with either chicken breast, or fish. And we'll still get what we're looking for.
Same taste.
So there you have it. You can always have your cauliflower rice with chicken breast or fish or prawns if you're trying to keep fit, okay?
Right now my meat is done.
It's done.
Yeah.
So did you use the lemon?
Yes, I use right now I'm going to use the lemon for my garnish.
Okay.
Because of the seafood.
The prawn in it. Okay, okay. So the lemon doesn't go into the prawns while it's raw?
No.
It doesn't until it's fully cooked.
It's fully cooked.
Okay, let's see you do that. So I'm just going to bring this closer for you. Okay. So, all right. So I'm going to allow you finish the cooking process, especially using the lemons. Okay. However, it is time to take a commercial break. Of course, we'll be right back after this. Stay with us as Wake Up Nigeria.
All right, now everyone has an idea of the kind of partner they would like to be. But are you an ideal partner? That's a question for you. Now I have Lape Soetan here to talk about the person that you want to be with and how to be that person. It's a strange thing, but you know, that's what she's saying. And she is a certified relationship coach and an author of several books. Hi Lape, how you doing?
Hi.
So you've been having this great conversation with TT about this particular topic, and today you're talking about something very interesting, about being the person you want to be with. Can you explain that to us?
Well, the theory is that if you want to be with someone in particular, then you should actually try to be that person, because it's more likely that you will meet that person in that way. For example, like I said in my ebook, 7 Steps to Meeting the One, if you want somebody who is wildly rich or who works for themselves, then you should try to take steps to achieve that. Of course, it's not easy, but perhaps that's what will help you achieve that particular thing, the steps that you are taking in order to become that rich person or that entrepreneur or whatever it is that you want. So it's really very important, actually.
I've also heard people saying, look for somebody who's the opposite of you. So
yeah, it's a theory that opposites attract.
Yeah.
People are so different, and what works for one person might not work for another. The thing about opposites attracting is that when you are now in the relationship for a while, you start to find that the thing that you liked most about that person is what is irritating you the most.
Right.
So let's say you're attracted because this person is bubbly and things like that. When you get into the relationship and you've been there for a while, you start thinking the person is annoying and loud. It's not as exciting as it was at the beginning. And anyway, being the person that you want to be with doesn't even mean that you actually end up being that person. It just means that you are more likely to be in a space where you will meet that person. For example, if you are trying to build your business, you might be going to conferences, you might be going to networking meetings, things like that, and that's where you would then meet that person.
In the book, you said something about church, that if you obviously, if you're a church person, then obviously, if you want to be with someone, then obviously you're going to be the person in church, right? And in any other circles, that's also what you're saying.
Well, yes, it is possible, but I also think it's very important that people don't limit themselves. Because if you want to meet somebody who goes to church, first of all, it's very deep. You have to ask yourself why you want that in the first place, the reasons underneath that. So yes, it makes sense to go to church, and you might meet that kind of person. But you should also realize that you might have a car accident, a minor car accident, and the person that bumps into you is somebody who goes to church.
Yes.
You understand? These things happen randomly, and you shouldn't put rules in place that limit you or things like that.
Now talking about being the person you want to be with, is this then going to be a conscious effort? So a part of the book you were saying that having certain character traits or having certain mannerisms or whatever it is, and being that person. So is this then going to be a conscious effort that I'm making to be that person?
That's actually a good question. Finding the right person for you involves actively doing that. I know it doesn't sound romantic.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't sound romantic at all. People are always saying that, but you actually do have to take steps to find that right person. I mean, for example, when you're looking for a job, you actually do take steps to look for a job. You tell friends, you make applications, things like that. When you're looking for the right person, you do have to take steps. You have to write down the list of what you want. You have to go out of your way to change your routine. You have to actively take steps to be the kind of person that this person would attract. So yes, it's a conscious effort.
Okay, so how about pretense? So a lot of times, then wouldn't people feel like you're pretending? So if you like a certain kind of person, right, and you know you're not that kind of person, because now you're saying be that person.
Yeah.
Isn't that then pretense? Like I'm pretending to be this person that I like, but the person doesn't really know who I am.
Yes, I know what you're saying. And there's more details about that in the book. You can get it on my blog, www.lapesoetan.com. But to quickly answer the question, pretending is never a good idea. It's something that you can do, and it's something that actually works. Let me even be honest.
For many people,
It works for many people. Pretending to be somebody else attracts a certain kind of person. But the issue is always maintaining it. You can even pretend up to the point that you get married to the person.
And pretend for years.
You can...
people who can pretend for years.
There are people those are a special case. But let's say you do pretend and you attract this person who is attracted to this person that you have given. You get married, and first of all, you don't even see the need to pretend that much anymore. And then the person starts realizing that, oh my God, you are just giving me a front, and the person feels deceived. The person starts acting funny, and then the relationship are having problems. When all this could have been avoided. So yes, you can pretend and do get whatever it is that you want, but it's never going to lead to a happy place. It's never something I advise.
Yeah. So you said something that I thought I found a little bit controversial when you said that, so if you want to marry a super rich person, then try to be super rich yourself.
Yes.
Can you explain that?
It's basically similar to what I was saying at the beginning, in that money is always a sensitive issue, particularly when it comes to relationships.
Exactly.
If you want somebody who is super rich, there are two ways of getting it. I mean, you can go and hang out in places where you think rich people are. If you're a woman, you know, and hope that they will notice you and things like that. But what I think is the better way to get it is to actually try to be a super rich person yourself. There are many benefits to that. First of all, you are funding your own lifestyle. You don't have to rely on somebody else. And you're actually going to get into a relationship because of the person and not because of what you can get out of the person. But trying to be super rich yourself is not something strange. It's not something particularly difficult. It's not. I'm not saying you have to be a millionaire. I'm not even saying you have to be whatever it is. What is going to be rewarded is your effort. You understand?
Right, so your efforts will then put you in the right circles.
Exactly.
Which will then bring that person
A lot
to
of
you.
these things are your intention and your mind. Your positive intentions are going to get you positive results. But if you're just messing about trying to catch a rich person, whether you're a guy or a girl, the result at the end is not going to be as much fun as you think it is.
Nice. So anyway, at the end of the day, this is really about, you know, being deliberate about your search, ensuring that, you know, whoever you're looking for, it's a deliberate process, so that you don't then end up with the wrong person.
Yeah.
So on the whole, right, I'm a young person, and I'm saying to myself, all right, so I'm trying to decide. So I've painted this picture, I've written out my checklist, like you said, which I'm still not sure about, because a lot of people say, it's not romantic, why am I writing, why am I painting this whole picture? Exactly, because, you know, people have this idea about what they want, and, you know, maybe they read it in a fairy tale, watched it in a movie, and so what you're saying is that we have to be more practical instead of relying so much on emotions and these romantic ideas.
Actually, no, not necessarily. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. You can have the most, what's the word, unrealistic visions that you want. You can have the most romantic visions that you want. That is fine. But the way to get it is, I think, what I talk about.
So the
it's
practical
not
steps.
Exactly. Right. The way to get it is what I say you should take practical steps towards. You understand? Don't just leave it up to chance. If you want to get something, go after it. Don't just say, oh my gosh, I'm just going to wait here and hope
wish.
that, you know, it doesn't make any sense. You have to take steps and that's what I'm saying. That part is not romantic. But you can have a romantic ideal. You can say, I want to be married to somebody who wakes me up in the morning with coffee. I want to wake up, I want to be married to somebody who makes sandwiches for me. Like you like yummy. You know, things like that. All that is romantic and all that is fine. But getting that person is what I'm saying should be practical.
Wow. Thank you so much, Lape Soetan, for joining us here. Now, lapesoetan.com is where you should check out her ebook, and then you can get more information on what she's talking about and how to be super rich if you want to marry a super rich person. Now, we're heading to the garden now for a performance with Team Definition and Mary.
Fantastic. I really have to stop you guys now, even though I can see you're all in the groove already. Fantastic. All right, so we're in the garden with Team Definition, and they're about to give us a fantastic performance. But before that, I'm quite curious as to how you guys do it, like having a band of 8 people, and you guys are able to really coordinate so well. Let me meet you first. That's Eden, right? Eden. Okay. Jodine. Abahi. Ayanu. Okay.
Zacchaeus.
Okay.
I'm Belle.
All right.
I'm Aisha.
I'm Good News.
And you're Good News. Oh, wow. You guys have been doing this for 7 years now. Yes. And I can see the kind of, will I say coordination and cooperation between you? Like, you guys can decide who does what and in such speed. How did it all start?
Well, first thing, all of us wanted to do good music.
Okay.
Full music, big music.
Okay, like individual singles and stuff.
Yes,
okay.
But somehow we met each other.
Oh, wow.
At the studio.
At his studio?
Yeah.
Okay.
So one by one, we came in. We're doing individual work initially, but it all came together at some point. Something just clicked and we said, why don't we do this together?
And that was how it started. So he was the Simon Cowell of your group.
Yes.
Yes. So you decided to make good music from everybody. Now, she's the lead singer today, yes. But I also know that anybody here can actually lead.
Yes. Yes.
So it usually depends on the song.
Yes.
So it could be you starting today, it could be she, some other points, it could be you. So I take it everyone here has great voices.
Yep. Yes, we're all individual artists first.
So is there still that possibility of, you know, how groups are, everyone goes solo at some point?
Oh, we're already solo already.
You're all
Yes,
solo
we're all
as
solo.
well.
Solo.
So what kind of music do you do? Is it just gospel or inspirational or secular or a mix of all three?
It's a fusion of a good mix, a healthy mix of all.
Okay, I like the sound of that healthy. It's bringing thoughts to my head. I'm suspecting what you mean by that, but it's okay. So inspirational music and all. Oh wow! So do you guys do like collaborations with external artists as well?
We haven't done that yet, but it's in the works.
Oh, so who are the artists you're considering?
It's a secret right now.
Okay, so we're just gonna keep it on the wraps, right?
We really can't say now.
Uh-huh.
So we're working.
Okay. Well, it's good enough for me that you guys are here to give us a fantastic performance. What song are you performing?
The national anthem.
The national anthem. Any other thing? We're focusing on the national anthem.
The national anthem and the cover of Sonia Days.
Oh, wow.
Nigeria
Nigeria Tigbogboani.
for June 12th.
Okay, so I'm like his manager today, so you guys are going to pay me for this stuff. Okay, so I'll let you perform now. Take it away. The national anthem first, right?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Let's do the contest.
Nigeria yìí tí gbogbo wa ní kó má gbọ́dọ̀ bàjẹ́ torí kò síbòmíràn tí a lè lọ nítorí pé àjò kò lè ta bí ilé. Ẹ jẹ́ á sowọ́pọ̀ ká fi ìmọ̀ ṣọ̀kan gbé kémi gbé. Nàìjíríà yìí tí gbogbo wa ní kó má gbọ́dọ̀ bàjẹ́ torí kò síbòmíràn tí a lè là nítorí pé àjò kò lè dàbílẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ á sowọ́pọ̀ ká fi ìmọ̀ ṣọ̀kan. Kò síbòmíràn tí a lè lọ nítorí pé àjò. There's no place like home. Sígájò lè dàbílẹ̀ o. Kò má lè dàbílẹ̀. Hausa, Igbo, Yorùbá ẹ jẹ́ sowọ́pọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ á jọ gbé.
Now, I've got a wellness expert here with me, Dr. Patrick Ijere, and he will be talking to us about wellness and the environment. And this is really, really important. we live in, especially if you live in Lagos, it's crazy. You know, the environment, noise, all sorts of things happening. But generally, when you ask people, how are you? They say, I'm well. You know, and they generally mean physically well. But can you define wellness for us, doctor?
We define there's 3 components to wellness. First is the absence of disease. 2, the second is the balance of the spirit, mind, and the body. And the third, which I love the most, there ought to be a joyfulness, a vibrancy about life.
Wow. Okay, so now, how do I connect wellness with the environment? I like the fact that you talked about spirit, mind, and body. And now, how does this connect to the environment when you're talking about wellness in general?
All right. Let's look at 2 perspectives. If you think of the body, the atoms in the body, the elements in the body, everything in the body came from where?
The environment, everything around you, and the soil.
The environment, the soil. From the soil into the food we consume and we grow. So we are an integral part of the environment. I have mentors who would say there's the internal and the external environment. Internal is within the body, external is outside the body. And they interact, they interrelate, they communicate. If you look at the internal environment, we tend to think of ourselves as separate from the outer environment, but truly we're all one. Internal environment, for instance, inside the body, we have trillions of microorganisms that are essential for life. Bacteria, viruses, fungi, inside the body. They help us process our foods. They help us make different nutrients that the body needs. They help us even in clearing things out of the body. Where did those things come from? The environment. Some of it has developed within us over time. We use the term microbiome. There's also the outer environment, the air we breathe, how we take care of water, the trees around us. Just close your eyes for a moment and walk into Oshodi or walk into Balogun Market. Close your eyes for a moment and walk into Yankari Game Reserve.
Right.
What happens to you instinctively?
Instinctively, so if I'm in a game reserve or in a quiet place, instinctively I relax.
Yes.
But if I'm in a noisy area, that's like a bus stop in Lagos, and instinctively I tense up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why do you tense up? Because the mind has an association between nature and the chaos of the concrete jungle. When you're in nature, your body puts out a lot of calming really hormones and neurotransmitters, serotonin, melatonin. Whereas when you're in the concrete jungle, you go tense because your body's put out what? Things like cortisol, stress hormones. It's a continuum. There's really no difference. We're part of the external and internal environment simultaneously.
Wow. So how do I then ensure you, because we're talking about wellness now, so if I then find myself increasingly in the concrete jungle as opposed to taking off to a game reserve, how do I ensure that I maintain at least a semblance of wellness in this?
You do it deliberately, you do it mindfully. For instance, you know tomorrow you're going into the office, it's a concrete environment. The night before, you prepare yourself. You know you'll encounter that Danfo driver, that Okada, that Mara, who will take you on the road.
Yes.
Prepare the mind ahead. That you'll maintain your composure, you maintain your sense of order, your peace of mind, no matter what happens. In other words, you're just giving yourself firmer shock absorbers.
So have a shock absorber so that that external pressure doesn't then get on inside
and derail you from the path you've created.
Really, really important. So that's the first thing that you think about. And then, are there any other things that you then do? You talked about being deliberate. Do I then look for opportunities to look for quiet places that I can be in at different points?
You do, or you create it. You can zone out and create it.
Zone out, create something like that. So how do I then zone out? So
where there's a lot of chaos going on, and you just quietly meditate, or you quietly just...
So you just block everything off and stay focused.
You visualize scenes that create happiness, create laughter, create joy. Or you take time to go watch something that is beneficial to your environment.
I've heard of the term where people say cleanliness is next to godliness and things like that. The physical environment that I find myself in can also be an issue. Say a house, for instance, you know, and things like that. Maybe a compound with different people. How do I deal with such situations? Do I get deliberate about that as well?
You have to be. Yes, you ought to be. If you're one who appreciates the order in the environment, then you take steps to keep an environment in that arena. Of course, if you have a sibling or you have coworkers who are chaotic, it may be a bit more of a challenge. Let's briefly look at the internal environment, what we put into the body. Earlier on we had the chef here preparing dishes. A lot of things that we consume, whether it's the liquid or it's food, just disturbs or distorts the internal environment. Things we put into the soil that affect our agriculture affects the internal environment. So when we carelessly spray herbicides, pesticides, which are what we call neurotoxic, by the time you eat that F4 or that beans, there's residue that goes into the internal environment. Just as it was destructive in the outer environment, in the soil, where the herbicide or pesticide may have killed off several of the microorganisms in the soil, such as the bacteria, it does the same thing internally. So you have this family of microorganisms, bacteria for instance, that help to create, let's say, some of the vitamins. When you ingest those foods, it distorts the internal environment. What we do out there affects what goes on in here, and therefore our health.
Wow.
What we see out there, whether it's our room or the bus stop, affects how we think. How we think decides what hormones, what transmitters the body makes, and we see it in our mood, in our response, in our anxiety, or in our calmness. The environment, external and internal, are interrelated. They are one.
Wow. I mean, you're saying some things now that are just making me realize that, okay, wow. So for me to be well 100%, I need to be deliberate about certain things, deliberate about my environment, deliberate about the internal environment and the external environment as well, and zoning out when there's annoying people around. Very, very important. Thank you so much, Dr. Jerry, for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. Learn how to control your environment. And the second hour is over on the show. Stay with us. We'll be back for the final lap. Welcome back. It's still WAKEUP, Nigeria. Now, wake up, Nigeria. Seriously, we love spending our mornings with you right there on your screen, giving you a warm hug from our studios this holiday. Yeah. It's been 2 hours already.
Yes, sir.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And that's how time flies, you know. We started this at 6 a.m., 7, and now it's 8 o'clock. And we're going to be leaving you in about 45 minutes, but we're going to be giving you the very best. My name is Yomi Ope.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. Now, another way you can watch us is to stream live with us. Join our e-community. If you have to leave the house, just go on to tvcontinental.tv and on Facebook Live at TVC Connect, sending comments using our hashtag WakeUpNigeria, and we'll be watching out for them.
The TVC app is available for you for download on both Android and iOS stores. So check us out. It's going to be really nice. And this app allows you to watch us from anywhere in the world.
Now, we have quite a bit still coming up. Consultant obstetrician and gynecologist Dr. Abiodun Fashino will be joining us on our health segment. We'll be talking about diabetes in pregnancy, the signs to look out for, and of course, the treatment options you have.
And for the last performance of the day and a chat, we will be having Kaline.
Kaline. Kaline, singer, songwriter.
Yeah, and she's also a pianist. I wonder if she bought her piano today.
Then, of course, we all.
But in my mind, thought I was giving my heart away. Giving my heart away.
yeah, so we're going to be having the live theater,
Lagos.
Death and the King's Horseman.
Yes. Wow. Did you ever read that one?
Oh yeah, I read it, watched it on the stage.
It's a powerful one, though. It is a powerful one. And hopefully the scenes that they're going to perform, the monologues they're going to perform today, will give you a little insight into how creative Wole Soyinka actually is. Now, I know that he'll be celebrating his birthday in July. And what actually made me take an extra look was the fact that they wanted to make the theater free so that people could go back to the theater. Watching performances is just something
There
that
they are in the
people
garden.
don't really do.
That's them in the garden.
Yeah.
You know, they all. I like the fact that they've done their costumes and they're all made up and they're ready.
They don't know the camera is on them right now.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
They're rehearsing. See that?
Yeah. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they put together.
Yeah. You know, I've done theater years back. I've done everything.
You're my.
I've done. Yeah. So anyway, I remember that it's back in the days. I don't know about now. When we're doing theater, so you have all these directors that come in, all the directors from way back, 70s and 80s and all of that. So some of your directors are like 70, 75. And they don't take rubbish. You can't come late for rehearsals. So once you come in late, you can't come in. You know, and if you come in late like 3 or 4 times, somebody else takes your role.
Yeah.
And no matter how high your role is, there's always somebody who's
learning your role.
Learning your role. So learning the lines, just waiting for you to break a leg or something. And they just step in and take on the role. So, you know, really, really important. But theater is amazing.
Stagecraft itself, you know, knowing where to face, projecting your voice. You know, back then there were no microphones on stage. So the projection of your voice had to go for as far as like a swimming pool's length. And people had to be able to still feel your performance. And a lot of people that are successful in Nollywood and even Hollywood abroad always say that because they had their roots in theater, it was easier for them to perform in front of the camera.
Yeah. Well, for me, the big one is usually the opera. Like, I've always loved it. Like, being at one, just watching them, and then the costume. And, you know, one of the things that attracted me to Whitney Houston was the depth and the power of her voice. Like, that is very rare. But of course, when you go to that world, the opera world, you find out that so many people have that depth of voice. Because you hear them sing and you can hear things and see things rattling. Like, the power, I'm telling you.
You can move an audience.
A female, you could be a tiny lady. Yeah. And the voice is magnificent. It enthralls everybody. It's absolutely amazing.
I can only encourage, you know, people that haven't seen live stage performances to try and go and find somewhere to actually watch people on stage and encourage your kids to do so as well. Everybody's watching TV now as if TV is the only form of entertainment.
To just watch TV alone.
It is actually, it's nothing compared to theater.
Yeah.
But,
there's nothing like a good play. I always tell people because when you watch it, it's electric. It catches you. It's surprising, you know, just it's all shades of everything. You know,
many think it's just movies that take you in, that suck you in. Actually, theater does more. That when it ends, you're living in a daze like, what did I just see?
Exactly. And you eventually meet all the actors and all that. And I've heard a lot of actors as well who say that once they take on a role, especially if it's something that has to do with the spiritual, they then embody that role even after the play is done.
Wow. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Now, on our health series for this month, we'll be concentrating on pregnant women and possible health complications that could be encountered during pregnancy. Dr. Abiodun Fashino. He is a consultant obstetrician and gynecologist. Now, he'll be talking today about diabetes in pregnancy, symptoms, and of course, treatment. Welcome to the show.
My pleasure, thank you.
We appreciate the fact that you have such a busy schedule. Thanks for taking our time. My pleasure. All right, so let's just break down what exactly diabetes during pregnancy actually means.
Okay. Diabetes is a rise in sugar level above normal. Okay. Which means that there's a normal sugar level for everybody. Yeah. But in people that are diabetic, they have a higher than normal blood sugar level.
Okay.
For you to have a normal blood sugar level, there is an organ called pancreas. The organ is called pancreas. It secretes what we call insulin. So the role of this insulin is to move the sugar from the blood into the cells. Because while the sugars are inside the blood, they cannot do anything until they get inside the cells, whereby the body uses the sugar for metabolism.
Okay.
But in people that have diabetes, is either the pancreas is not secreting this insulin, or the pancreas is secreting insulin that are defective, or probably the cells are not responding. The insulins are there, the insulin gets to the cell, but the cells fail to respond to insulin. So the insulin accumulates in the blood, and all the symptoms of diabetes are because of this accumulation of insulin, or of glucose in the blood.
Okay, so now I've heard type 1, type 2, different types of diabetes. We're talking about diabetes in pregnant women. Is it one of those types, type 1 or type 2?
Type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, generally. But in pregnant women, I think we'll talk more of pre-gestational diabetes.
Pre-gestational?
Yes.
Okay.
And the word gestation is a Latin word for pregnancy. So if I say pre-gestational, all that means is that it's pre-pregnancy.
Okay.
Now we have gestational diabetes.
Okay.
Either of the pre-gestational diabetes can either be type 1 or type 2.
Okay.
Well, most of the time, the gestational diabetes is a transient condition that will resolve immediately after pregnancy. And this is the reason why you call it gestation, because when you are pregnant, I said earlier that pancreas secretes insulin. The insulin drag glucose from the blood into the cells. But in pregnancy, there's placenta. Placenta is another organ that comes into place during pregnancy. And when this placenta secretes some hormones that actually work against insulin. So the tendency is there that if you have the genetic inheritance to develop diabetes later in life, you can come up with gestational diabetes. And that's why it disappears immediately after the delivery of placenta.
So the placenta, basically, once the placenta is taken out after
Or
the baby...
gestational diabetes,
Yes.
most of the time the symptoms goes down, or latest by 6 weeks after delivery.
Okay, so what could be the causes, or what could lead to it happening?
Well, there's no known cause for diabetes, but there are a lot of risk factors.
Okay.
Like if you come to me as a pregnant woman, I'm interested in your family history, whether you have the first-degree relations that have diabetes. If you do, you have a very high chance of developing diabetes.
Okay.
If you have given birth to a baby that was very big, we describe very big as a baby that weighs more than 4 kg, 4 kilograms. Or if you had the death of a baby while the baby was inside the womb in previous pregnancy. That's it. Or if you have a baby that had a congenital anomaly in the past. What I mean by congenital anomaly is just the birth defect. Giving birth to a baby with birth defect. Or you come to clinic and we check your urine and we realize that you have 2 pluses of glucose on 2 consecutive occasions. It's not all the time that we react to the presence of glucose in the urine, because at times it may just be because of some physiological changes in pregnancy. But when you have 2 pluses on 2 consecutive occasions, I'll be interested in carrying out some tests to determine whether you have diabetes or not. Then if you come to me and your weight is more than 90 kg at presentation, when you come for booking, I will want to check you.
Okay, so that presentation is at the first trimester, that's within the first 3 months, and you're above 90 kg?
Yes, we're above 90 kg, so it's a risk factor for, so we do a test called OGTT.
Okay, so I have to round up with 1 or 2 things we can do to help, with this situation.
Well, the truth is that the pre-gestational diabetes, there's no problem with that. It comes with symptoms that are obvious. You go to toilet, you urinate frequently, then you eat too much, and you may have some other symptoms. But for gestational diabetes, there's no symptoms. So the best advice is that when pregnant women, when you get pregnant, get a qualified medical doctor and get them on time, so that they will take history from you. If they realize that you have any of the risk factors I've mentioned earlier, then they take care of you. They do further tests to know what they should do to help you. Now, if you have pre-gestational diabetes, the advice is that you should actually see a doctor before you even get pregnant, because the first few months of few weeks of pregnancy is very key when it comes to preventing the complications.
I have to say a very big thank you to you, Dr. Fashina, for coming to talk to us.
Thank you for having me.
I love the clear points you've given us. You should be going for your antenatal as soon as you realize you're pregnant as well, and you'll probably be able to get a handle on that. Now we have a live drama performance coming up for you in the garden, courtesy of the Live Theatre Lagos. Mary is with them.
You remember what we said earlier about plays? Well, it's my pleasure to inform you that with over 200 productions and over 7 years in action, we have Live Theatre Lagos here to give us a performance, showing us a play, just a snippet of the Wole Soyinka's play. And so I'm going to let you guys take it up from here. Is carry me though.
Jane! Jane! Never mind being ready, just listen to this. Listen, Amusa's report. It's come to my information that a certain prominent chief, namely the election bar, is to commit death tonight as a result of native custom. Because this is criminal offense, I await further instructions at charge office. Sergeant Amusa. Just when you thought you've stamped it all out, but it's lurking under the surface somewhere. Well, I don't have to do anything. If they want to throw themselves off the top of a cliff or poison themselves for some barbaric custom, then what has that got to do with me? Well, if it was a ritual murder or something like that, then I'll be duty-bound to stop them. I can't keep an eye on every potential suicide in the province. And as for that man, believe me, it's good riddance. Look, what are you saying again? Must you people forever speak in riddles? Well, I'll have to see what it is.
You will. But this is one oath he cannot shirk. White one, you have a visitor in this land, a king from your land. We know of his presence here. Now tell me, were he to die, would you leave his spirit roaming restlessly across the surface of the earth? Or would you bury him here among those you consider to be less than human? In your land, have you no ceremonies of the dead?
Well, we don't let our chiefs commit suicide to keep him company.
Listen, child. I have not come here to help your understanding. This is the man whose wicked understanding holds us in bondage to you. But ask him if you wish. He knows the meaning of a king's passage. He wasn't born yesterday. He knows the peril to the race when our dead father, who goes as intermediary, waits and knows that he is betrayed. He knows when the narrow gates opened, and he knows when it will not stay open for the laggards who drag their feet in dungs and vomits, whose lips are reeking of the leftovers of this world. He knows he has condemned our king to wander alone in the void of evil, with beings who are enemies to life.
You white races know how to survive. I've seen proof of that. By all logical and natural law, this world should end with all the white races wiping out one another, wiping out their very existence and reverting to a state of primitivism, the kind which only existed in your imagination when you thought of us. See, I thought all that in the beginning, but then I realized that your greatest art is the art of survival. But at least have the humanity to allow others survive in their own ways.
Election laughing. Can you hear my call? Election laughing. Can you hear my voice? Shall my voice be a blade of grass and tickle the armpits of the past? Only what has been spoken, only what concerns the dying wish of the father of all. If you cannot come, swear you'll tell my horse I shall ride alone through the gate. If you cannot come, tell my dog it shall trace back the lost path back to me. Adiabu keke jeti sawada losode iwere. Abiru kodu gbagbagba ti ba won losode iserimele. Opala mo pa gogo ide o. Awon kuku wa korowo si. Adiabu sese bo lojo ti so lori oro ni wa run. Oni sese mori odo, sese mori odo, sese mama jebi ose nilu elesin. Ẹlẹ́sìn Aláàfin Òjó pàṣẹ kẹrẹ mọ́dé ọmọ tìbà Ifá Olókun asọ̀rọ̀ dayọ̀ ẹlẹ́rìí pín àtọ́rí ẹni tí ò sùn ọ̀sẹ̀ Ifá ọmọ ẹni rẹ̀ ọmọ ṣàkà bí ọkàn mẹ́ẹ̀kánná wà ó jẹ́kùn ọ̀rádé eégún. What tryst is this a cockerel goes to keep with such haste? that he must leave his tail behind. I know they would like to spoil you. I know the women will cover you with damask and alari. But when the wind blows cold from behind, the fowl will know its true friends. Níbo lẹ̀dá tí mo rí wá. Àyànmọ́ wo lẹ̀dá yàn. Àjàlá alámọ̀ ire. Àjàlá alámọ̀ ire o. Mọ̀rí 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 mi sí ire.
Welcome back. Now, you saw that fantastic performance from the Live Theatre Lagos. Absolutely amazing. Now, in celebration of Wole Soyinka's birthday, which is in the month of July, every third Friday, they're going to be having live performances at the Radisson here in Lagos. Very nice. Just check them out on social media as well, Live Theatre Lagos. Now, very special, a person that is joining us this morning. Kalina is a singer, songwriter, and pianist. Now, her use of words and percussive style of piano playing has been attributed to her African roots. And of course, she uses jazz, R&B, Afrobeat, all sorts of things to create authentic and alternative Afro soul sound. And of course, she's going to be giving us, hopefully, a little bit of her sound very shortly. How are you doing, Kalina?
I'm good. Thank
Good to
you
have
for
you join us
having me.
on the show.
Thank you.
Your hair
Yeah.
is crazy.
Thank
Like, I know that's the first thing everybody talks about.
Of course.
But how do you maintain this hair? That's the first thing I want to ask
Someone
you.
just asked me that like 2 seconds before I got
Yeah.
on here. It's just keeping it hydrated, lots of oils, so everything from coconut to shea oil to argan oil. Just It should never really be brittle and dry. It should always sort of have a soft, moist.
Absolutely amazing. Now, you're, you are internationally known. Apart from that, you're internationally exposed in music.
Yes.
Apart from the fact that you studied music itself, there's a lot that you do that we don't see much of from the younger generation of guys. Why did you decide that, you know what, this is what I'm going to dedicate my life doing?
I grew up in a musical family, so music was always part of our lives growing up, me and my siblings. And then after I finished university, I did like a conventional degree from my parents just to pacify them. And then they allowed me to go to music school. And that's where I really found my path and what I wanted to really, really do, the kind of songs that I wanted to sing and my style. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, you, when I was reading your profile, you opened for Bob James, you've opened for Shaka Khan.
Yes.
Like, how does that happen? Like, how do you get that kind of opportunity?
So Nigeria is an amazing place to be from and be in because the music industry, as you would know, has sort of evolved, you know, very, very quickly over the last few years. And all those people that you've mentioned that I've opened for, I did that while I was in Lagos. So I think we always have to give credit to the fact that there are a lot of international artists who come here, and we upcoming artists have the opportunity to either support them, perform with them, you know, before them or whatever, and really, you know, find a way to get into those international spheres.
Very nice. You know, we're just talking, and I was saying that I've had the opportunity to see in like studio sessions with live performances, especially
Yeah.
with Afrobeat and
So
things
cool,
like that.
so cool. I'm jealous,
And-
actually.
And you know, to have an idea of how artists get into the zone. When they get in there, you know,
Yeah.
initially it's a bit cool, but later on they get into that spirit. Does that happen for you as well? How does music work for you?
So depending also with studio work, recording, I really have to be prepared, like, you know, vocally do my warm-ups and everything before I record voice. Throughout the day, it's pretty much the same, even for live performance. Throughout the day, I make sure I watch what I eat, you know, watch what I drink, and I love quiet time to just really get centered. I pray, I meditate. Yeah. And then get
Now, of course, you talked about the fact that Nigerian music and the industry is really opening up.
Yes.
In the last 10 years, so many things have happened
So
that
much. Yeah. Different
it's
waves
almost
of
hard
music.
exactly,
as well.
it's almost hard to compare that with the initial 20 years before
Exactly.
that. You know, now you've got musicians that are doing so many different things
Yes.
and going into different kinds of businesses and all of that. The opportunities that has created for you as a person. Talk to us about the future that you're seeing in this same industry and what you want to be doing as a part of that.
I definitely see a really bright future for live music. That's what I've always loved to do anyway. Live music. So I'm seeing a lot more bands, even like in the Afro-pop world, even in the alternative space. There are a lot more people who are coming out with bands, performing on stage with a full, you know, collection of musicians. And I want to be able to continue to do that and see that just keep getting better and better. Also, you know, the world is watching Africa, the world is watching Nigeria, so I just feel there's just so much to come, so many more opportunities for musicians, for entertainers in this space, to be like more internationally acclaimed.
Yeah, so I saw your video earlier.
Which one?
And the one with the short dresses all around.
The short shorts.
Yeah.
Tell you of my love.
Oh, there it is. There it is. And so I was saying to myself that, okay, not too bad, but are you also trying to mainstream your music, give your music a more younger appeal to a wider audience?
It's a great question. Yeah. So when I did that video and that song, it was sort of like an experiment to just see what could work. Like, you know, something that I'm comfortable with, that is more upbeat and more with the times and with this, you know, with Nigeria, but also and see what the response was.
Yeah.
And it was a good response. What I am doing now is trying to make sure I still stay true to myself, but also find ways of collaborating with mainstream artists. So there's going to be a lot more music coming soon, like, you know, throughout this year. Just trying to find that happy medium between the two, because I don't think there's anything like selling out necessarily. I think it's all to do with development, evolving as an artist.
I'm making some money while you're at it.
Making some money, of course.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and if you're in a space that this has a certain kind of sound, then you have to really adapt your sound and try and fit in, you know, if that's what you want to do.
Anyway, it's Democracy Day, it's June 12th. So we're hoping that you'll do the national anthem for us today.
Sure.
And I don't know whether I should step out of the way or to join you as a backup singer.
You should.
But we're going to be standing for the national anthem, obviously.
Okay.
And after that, we'll feed you.
Okay.
Take you
Delicious.
to the kitchen for breakfast.
I've smelled the food. It's delicious.
All right, so we're doing the national anthem now.
We are. You already said we.
Kalina is singing the national anthem. And so we're standing and doing it right here. And hopefully everybody would be
So where are we looking?
Well, just sing.
Okay.
Just
are you going to
sing
do backup?
I'm not doing it in backup, but I'm going to be very reverent right beside you as we do the national anthem.
Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past
That's Kalina, ladies and gentlemen. Please join us over here in the kitchen.
Oh, welcome.
Very nice.
I have to say your dress is beautiful as well. Beautiful. Welcome to the kitchen.
Thank you for joining us, Kalina.
It's my pleasure.
Today's chef is Chef Yabez, and he's made this delicious looking meal, and it tastes just as good, I'm sure. All right, so Chef Yabez will be telling us about this meal. S'il vous plaît.
Thank you. As you can see, this is my cauliflower rice. I make it with carrots, green beans, prawns, and cauliflower.
Great. So all those chunks you're seeing are actually prawns, okay?
Prawns.
Yeah. So there's no rice in it. It's replaced by cauliflower.
Cauliflower rice.
It's like a healthy, alternative.
Alternative.
Okay.
Exactly. So please try it. Let's know what you make of it.
Please tell us cauliflower rice. I think I should try this one at home. This one I want to try at home.
Very nice.
So what do you think?
Delicious.
Oh.
So nice.
Nice, very
All
Chef Yabez,
right.
well done.
Thank you.
That's a handshake.
Il est très bon.
C'est bien fait.
I've been practicing that one for an
You
hour.
guys.
Oh, I've had so much fun. We've been speaking French since. It's great for me to be able
All right.
Thank you.
practice.
So it's Democracy Day.
Yes.
There's so much happening, and you know, TVC will definitely be taking us live right now. As
Okay,
you
we're
can
there.
see.
We're there live already. That looks like the Eagle Square, and we're going to be finding out what's happening.
That is.
You look at the cameras. 26 years on, what memories of that day do you have?
Well, that was one day that Nigerians, irrespective of their station, irrespective of ethnicity, religion, language, name it, whatever the primordial sentiment, all the primordial sentiments were put aside on that day. And the Nigerians in general, they rose up in unison and in unity of purpose to elect one man, and that was Bashoron MKO Abiola as president of this country. And
Yeah, so it's all about celebrating June 12th, Democracy Day, today, throughout the day. So obviously, TVC News is going to be bringing you all the details of what's going to be happening over in Abuja and probably in Lagos as well.
All right.
That was Senator Mamora, I believe.
Yes,
Yes.
I'll send it to her.
So we have to say a big thank you to our friends at Homely NG for the kitchen accessories. We appreciate you so much. We appreciate our chef for coming today.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for my breakfast.
Yeah. And Kalina.
Having a ball.
You almost threw the meal. Fantastic.
Kalina, thank you for joining us on the show today.
It's been fun. It's been great. It's a Wednesday, but it's a holiday. So make sure you get some rest. But we'll be here again 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Don't forget, 6 a.m.
Yes, sir. Have a great day.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.